So this is actually a question that came up earlier today. I was having a conversation with somebody and they said, I've got this buddy of mine who he's never been in sales before, but he wants to get into medical device sales. And this guy was asking him, he said, what do I need to do to get into medical sales, and how can a non-sales person become good at sales? And so he picked up all these sales books. And as you can see behind me, right, I'm a big fan of books, big fan of reading, and I've read a lot of sales books, and that's good and all. But understand that there is only so much that reading a book can do for you. It might be able to give you some tactics, it might be able to give you some ideas, but there is a big difference between knowing what to do, and doing what you know. There is a big difference here. Big difference here. There is an absolute chasm between these two things. So many people know what to do, and so many people cannot do actually what they know. It kind of makes me think of marriage. There's so many things that you do with your spouse that, I know this is going to kind of piss them off, and I'm going to do it anyway, right? Everybody kind of has those scenarios, and we think that those scenarios are only reserved to instances like those. But in reality, it's no different than in our sales careers. If somebody that's a non-salesperson wants to become good at sales, I wouldn't tell them not to read books, because books are good. But it's only going to help you so much. You actually have to put yourself on the field and in the court and start selling a product. You've actually got to walk up to somebody's door, knock on the door, and open it, right? You've actually got to walk into a physician's office for the first time when unannounced, unexpected, when they don't actually want you there, and start talking to somebody. And it's totally different. And you'll realize, like, coming back to the books that you've read, I've actually found that they didn't help me a whole lot at the beginning. It's actually once I got more experience that I was then able to take the knowledge from the books and refine what I was doing. It was harder for me to actually implement early on anything from the books because it's overwhelming the first time you walk into somebody's office and you're essentially coming in for a job interview that's totally unwarranted, unexpected. They don't want you there, right? You've got an audition here and nobody actually wants to see your audition, right? And so it's nerve-wracking, you've got high anxiety, and it takes a while to get used to it. And you literally have to go through the fire. It's exposure therapy in and of itself, right? At its most core. That's how somebody that's a non-salesperson gets better at sales. Now, I think you use books, I think you use courses, I think there are a lot of ways that you can improve that are outside of just physically doing the job. And there is good research on that. But ultimately what you've got to know is there is a huge difference between knowing what to do, which you could find out in a course, you could find out in a book, you could find out what you're supposed to do. But doing what you know is a totally different thing, all right? And the way that you get to this point, right, that's the obvious next question is like, all right, well, I know what to do. How do I cross this chasm, so to speak, to where I'm doing what I know? And it's repetition and it's reflection. In my mind, it's repetition and it's reflection. So every time I go out there and I perform a rep, after that rep, I reflect on it. So one of the things I ask our salespeople to do is after every sales call, especially the ones that don't go well, you immediately reflect. You pull out your phone, you pull out a notepad, you write down exactly what happened. And you think through, all right, next time when this happens, how do I respond? Next time when they say, yeah, I'm not really interested right now, or yeah, I don't have time right now, or we use somebody else for that, what is my response going to be the next time so I don't get shut down? So it's repetition and it's reflection, right? We'll clear this off and I'll write that for you guys. Repetition and reflection is how you get better and you take what you know you're supposed to do into doing what you know. Two things. One, repetition, I think. Repetition or reflection. You've got to put in the reps, but then once you've put in the reps, you got to be able to reflect back and say, what did I do well? What did I not do well? All right. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like it and consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you on the next video.